Today I fucked up for trying to explain to my boss that the earth is not flat. I'm typing this and expecting to get fired sometime this week for what I did. I work as a security guard for a hospital and my boss had time to kill, so he basically came to my little post and we started chatting. He is a nice guy overall and I have nothing against him, but we somehow got on the topic of is the earth a globe or flat. I honestly couldn't believe I found one in the wild, but against all odds, here he is. The conversation dragged on for 2 hours and it was a nice constructive conversation between the both of us, but at the end I just realized how stupid these people are. He doesn't believe in gravity. Science is a lie, the government is manipulating people and all the nonsense. I started laughing, and told him alright, you win. I can't convince you. I should have realized from the start that convincing a flat earther otherwise was mission impossible, but to my comment he got super offended and left. Now I'm thinking this could cost me my job and I'm low-key regretting it. Too long didn't read, laughed at my flat earther boss about him thinking the earth is flat, and now I'm worried I'll lose my job. Update: thank you all for the suggestions on what to do. I spoke to him this morning and basically apologized if it seemed that I came across as rude or that I was making fun of him, which is kinda was. We weren't having a heated argument to begin with, so I felt that it was the best to just stay on good terms and all. I'm pretty sure I won't be getting fired now, but that's the last time I'm going to be arguing with a flat earther. People said that in some states it is illegal to fire someone over something like this. I'm from Serbia, so I'm not exactly sure how that would apply here. At least now I know how much of a donkey my boss is and to keep my opinions, facts, to myself. Just go back tomorrow and tell him you converted. Your uncle went on a road trip and fell off the side of the earth. Can't wait to solidify my firing by mocking him. If he fires you over that, you need to do an update post where you provide a transcript of your boss making the case to a judge that firing you over your belief in science is not, in fact, wrongful termination. That shit will be top-notch comedy. Never ever regret laughing at a flat earther. What do you mean he doesn't believe in gravity? Even my cat tests that every day and it still works. These people believe that the earth is just accelerating up at 9.8 meters per second squared, which would mean it's going at this point billions of times the speed of light. How do people this stupid ever get in positions of authority to begin with? The Dilbert principle. Incompetent people get promoted to management, where they can do less damage than actual workers. Today I fucked up by causing $3,000 of damage with $4 of ice. Preface: I drive a BMW and am all too aware of their fabulously terrible repair costs. I know it's absurd and can be remedied by replacing my car with a Toyota. I've experienced the absurdity. And I've owned a Toyota. I am where I am and I love my car blindly. But this is just too stupid to not share. We were headed to the in-laws on Christmas Eve when my check engine light came on and my dash threw an error: increase steer effort. Drive moderately. While mostly unnoticeable on the highway or even surface roads, driving under 15 miles per hour, parking lots, turning from a stop, etc., was like steering through sand. Between half the family having caught the flu, even with flu shots, the holidays, and air work deadlines, I didn't get my car to the shop until yesterday. Additionally, in the past week, sometimes the error would just go away. But it always came back. I got the call at 2 p.m. today and the service technician began the call by asking me to not be mad at him, never a good sign. He explained that there were control units in the trunk, one of which was causing the power steering error. But all three were sitting in water, so there must be a leak in my trunk. Repair estimate: $3,200. I was put on hold while he tracked down answers to my various questions, primarily the names of the control units and info on what each controlled. And it dawned on me. I had gone to a friend's party the Sunday before Christmas and, in loading the car Tuesday, Christmas Eve, I found 2 empty bags of ice. They hadn't been needed, bought 12 total, I think, and I had totally forgotten about them for 2 days. The trunk mat was wet, so I threw down a few towels and headed over, now late, to the in-laws and didn't think of it again. When he was back on the phone, I told the service technician what had happened and explained that I was skeptical of the leak theory, that I'm really just an idiot. I asked him what I owed him for drying up the water they found and for the diagnosis, $0, and told him I'd like to wait on the repairs. My hope is that a dehumidifier in the car for a few days will dry up any remaining water and these control units will be just fine, especially consider it was working intermittently before I dropped it off to be checked. At a minimum though I want to get a second opinion, and another quote, before laying down $1,145 in labor to replace these 3 easily accessible control units. That all said, I don't know what is more stupid, me leaving ice in the car to melt, or BMW casually leaving, read, purposefully installing, $2,000 worth do electronics under the trunk mat in plastic cups that hold water. The service tech shared that he had seen this before when a guy spilled a bucket of fish, in the trunk of his X5. Too long didn't read, left 2 bags of ice in my trunk to melt, soaked my car's butt brain, resulting in repair cost of $3,148. 13 because BMWs have butt brains. Fill your trunk with rice. Lol, today I fucked up by destroying my $70,000 car with $3 worth of rice. If anything, definitely don't power it for a while if you can. Water doesn't harm electronics, but water and electricity corrode the shit out of stuff. Unplug and then dry out. How come the BMW isn't working? Todd looks at water. And where did all this water come from? I don't know, Margot. Both look at each other, then out at the neighbor, who is gleefully putting up holiday decorations. As the owner of an Audi that was cursed by a witch, I feel this situation. Today I fucked up by letting my brother do horrible things. This happened a while ago, but I am still feeling the consequences now. This particular FU is spread across many years and it may seem like background info, but is actually portraying a pattern of my failures as a mentor. It's quite a story, however, I have to admit. Too long didn't read, at bottom. Me and my father, my mom had put me up for adoption when I was young. He wasn't my biological father, but he was the best dad ever, and a couple friends were vacationing out of our home country. We had rented a car and were in a remote desert town and it broke down. We needed a part and we went to the local market, hoping to find a replacement. The owner was very stingy and refused our payment, but his employee was helpful and nice. He was very young, probably about 9, the child labor laws were very different from what I was used to, but he did his best. Eventually he had convinced his manager to listen to us. After a very long and trying period of haggling and deal-making, we got our part, but my father was torn at the fact of leaving this young man behind to work hard hours and be paid very little. We were extremely religious, and this impacted our decision. We consulted his mother. His dad had never been around, and she told us he was extremely gifted, and that he could grow up to have great success if he could get out of the country. We had suspected this, but she confirmed it. She wanted him out of there, so she said her goodbyes and I gained a new brother. A couple weeks after, my father was involved in a freak accident and tragically and suddenly passed away. He told me in his last moments to raise my brother and that he had total faith in me. I was scared that I would let him down, but I eventually put this behind me. Years passed, he had grown into one of the most blessed and well-known men in our religion. Gonna keep which one a secret for privacy reasons, and he knew it. He was still a good guy at heart, but I could tell he was getting a little too prideful. We were closer than ever at this time. We were with each other at all times, we never fought, and I loved him very much. There was a time where for some reason it seemed like everyone was against us. We had messy dealings, we had people try and kill us because of our faith, and lots of friendships were made and lost. One of which being a very influential political figure who we trusted very much. As I later found out, my brother and her hooked up quite often and eventually got married without my knowledge. There are rules in our religion that forbid this, but he ignored them. I was blind to the path he was walking on. He eventually started becoming friendly with a man who slowly and quietly tried to make him join his cult. This cult was evil and only sought to kill people of our faith. This person told him that he would become very powerful if he embraced their beliefs, more powerful than anyone he had met before. But this would mean he would have to abandon everyone he loved except for his wife. He was told that his wife was dying and that this cult could save her. He fell fast and hard, and after that me and everyone who had helped him become so faithful became his sworn enemies. Eventually him and the leader of this cult decided they wanted to finish us once and for all. They burned down all our meeting places and all but 3 known people survived. Me, the leader of our faith, and his right-hand man. He ran? He took his wife, who was pregnant with twins, and who had told me his whereabouts, and started rambling about grandiose plans to become important and powerful. I walked in on him physically assaulting her. I tried to reason with him, but he was too far gone. It came to blows, and because both of us had extensive fighting training, the fight was long and hard. He was wounded very bad, but he survived. I have decided to live my life watching after his kids, who thankfully survived, and hope that I do better leading them in our faith. I failed my brother and now he is brutally injured, and is sworn to kill me and his children. I didn't prepare him enough, and now my consequences have arrived. If you are reading this, brother, I have something to say. I have failed you, Anakin, I have failed you. You allowed this Dark Lord to twist your mind, and you became the very thing you swore to destroy. You were the chosen one? It was said you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness. You were my brother Anakin, I loved you. Too long didn't read. I failed Anakin as a master and now he has become Darth Vader, and is hellbent on revenge. It's just like that one dude who made out with his sister. Yeah, it is. That's weird. Not gonna lie, you had us in the first half. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Fun fact, my son was named after the original Obi-Wan, Sir Alec Guinness. Guys, I'm actually really proud of myself. I figured out this was Star Wars once I got to the part about his wife dying and the cult providing a way to stop it. I figured it out before the end. This is my favorite one. Happy last cake day of the decade. Thanks.